Hello, everyone, and welcome to another wavelength series. It's time to get on the same wavelength with me. So, welcome. So much has changed. So much has changed from since last week. So much has changed over the last couple days and weeks. So now we, in my country, in my federation, St. Kitts and Nevis, we have a 24-hour curfew. I keep, mixing up the terms lockdown, curfew. Choose not to use the term lockdown. But we have a curfew, and so I'm filming from the best studio that I could ever have, which is in the comfort of my own home. And yes, I am committed to bringing you wavelength. And so, happy April, first of all. Happy April. Um, initially, I wanted to start April out with really focusing on um, a series for leaders, like people who are in management positions, people who supervise people, supervisors, team leaders. If you lead a team of people, no matter what level, what rank, I wanted to focus on some strategies that would help you. But I feel like with so much going on that I need to maybe bring some tips on how to cope during this pandemic, this whole um, COVID-19 that's going on, right? So today I'm going to focus on thriving during a pandemic, and I'm saying let's choose possibility over panic, because yes, it's a scary time. I mean, I have never seen change happen so rapidly. I get up today and it's something different. You get up tomorrow, it's another thing. It is so fluid, like really fluid, like water. Everything keeps changing so quickly. And so today I want to focus on, how to see, where to see the possibilities in this. And so I thought that I would start with a quote by Maya Angelou. Most of you who know me know I love quotes, or if you don't really know me, you should be able to tell by the content that I put out on my page, right? So Maya Angelou, and the backstory in this is Oprah was going through some sort of a something, I don't know what she was going through, and Maya Angelou said these words to her: I come as one, but I stand as 10,000. There's a backstory to it. And I thought that it's so fitting, because we need to focus on strength. We need to focus even more so now on resilience. Um, I know I sound very cliche, but this is no time to panic. And I know that when somebody is scared and panicky, the worst thing that you could tell them is don't panic. But we need to redirect our focus. And that is my goal here today. We need to stand guard at the doors of our minds and redirect our focus. And so I started off with this quote because in our history, well, in my history, I don't know race you are looking at this, but I'm sure if you're not a descendant of the black race, if you don't fall into that category, there is some sort of story somewhere in your history that you can tap into. And the reason why I tapped into this quote, is because when Maya said that, because when you think about all that our ancestors endured, think about it. Talk about a very fluid situation. I know this is totally different, but that's the point. It is totally different, and we're at an advantage, right? When we think about all that our ancestors endured, the black race, right? Or whatever race that you may be in, I'm sure there was some sort of something going on, right? We come as one, but we are to garner the strength of all our ancestors to get through this period, and we will get through it, right? And just even saying that quote, even when I was preparing for it, it just brought shivers to me. And this is not the first time that I've heard this quote. I I actually I heard it. I don't know if it was my mother also who told me about it. She probably did. And you can also use this quote after this pandemic is over when you're going into a situation that is scary. Maybe you're going for a job interview, maybe you're doing something new. You are to garner and think about the strength of your ancestors. You are to think about the fact that and I know this is not a history lesson, but I am so passionate about this right now. You are to think about the fact that they survived, they were ripped apart from their homelands, they're on a boat, and you have Google, you have the internet, you can see how those boats were set up, right? Um, and you can think about the strength that took them to survive. Some didn't, which is fine. I mean, they couldn't, they just couldn't, right? But you come as one, we come as one, but we stand as 10,000. And I want you to think about that um, as you go through this period. There are other quotes that I could have drawn from, but I feel like this one would resonate more with you like it did with me. Okay, so let's jump into today. And I just feel really excited about it because now I've even hyped my own self, right? So the first thing I feel like we really need to do to get through this pandemic is to get our minds right. And last week I mentioned something to you. Last week I told you that, um, when I bring you tips, I've either experienced them or I've had persons close to me experience them. And I am going through this just like you're going through this. Like most of you who know me or who would have heard me speak on these video series would know that I have a primary job. And so right now, because we're in hospitality, there are no guests on the island, right? That I live. Everything is closed down. Everybody, there is no business. And so even at my level, an assistant director in human resources, I've had to come home, right? So I am in the trenches. I am in the same boat with so many others. So I don't want you to feel like I'm coming on here, I'm sitting here, and I'm just giving a quote, and everything is okay, everything is perfect. No, everything is not perfect, but we need to get our minds right. And I've had to get my mind right because, and I'll do another next week. I'll talk more specifically to the job part of it. When that has happened, going through that change. But it's a loss. You're getting up in the morning and there's nothing to go to. So we have to get our minds right. Okay, and then in getting our minds right, we need right now, I feel like we need a mind that is settled, right? So that we can think clearly, so that we can, because life still goes on, the sun, amidst all this pandemic, life still goes on. Every day you get up, the sun is out there shining, doing its job. The moon is out at night, doing its job. Birds are singing, they're just doing their job. We are the only ones that are like affected by it. So get our mind right. So we need a mind that is settled, right? And one that is rooted in hope, right? Peace and calm. And earlier this year, at the beginning of the year, I did a video on mindset. I'm gonna probably share it sometime on the page, on my Facebook page. But look for it. I don't remember which episode it is, but it's it's mindset, right? Getting your mind right. And so we have to settle so that we can think, so that we can function clearly. And so we need a mind rooted in hope, because it will get better. And we need to get that hope. We can't go into despair. So we need a mind that is settled and rooted in hope, peace, and calm. And I feel like this is the first thing that needs to happen, right? So I'm going to go through a series of how we can do that and what we should do. I wasn't sure where to put this point, but I'll mention it now. So maybe one of the first things, and let's get really practical, right? One of the first things that you may need to do, if you haven't done so already, is reach out to your bank. Maybe your job isn't affected. Maybe you are still going to work. Maybe you are an essential worker. God bless you. Stay safe, right? If you are, and thank you for providing whatever service it is that you're providing for us. Call your bank, call whatever lending institutions, call your insurance. If you have a car like me, I did that a few weeks back because I saw how quickly the situation was changing, and I know my insurance is due in May. And so I reached out to my insurance to find out what was going on, because one of the things that I do is I keep paying monthly, so by the time the next year rolls around, there is money there that I either, like a large lump sum that can either cover my insurance, or it can I just have to pay a difference. And for the last couple of years, thank goodness, I've not had to add anything to it. The money is already there. So that might be a tip for you, because I am busy. I don't have time to think about, like, okay, pay every month. So I set up automatic payments, right? So that's just a tip for when we get out of this rut, that you can incorporate. But every government in every country, in my country, the government has shared plans on how to buffer and how to help its citizens during this time. And so you want to tap into that. You want to go and read for yourself. And I'm going to circle back to that. You want to read on, what do they call it? The stimulus package. What is happening to assist you in your country. I can't just assume that only people from St. Kitts and Nevis are listening, because that isn't so. So reach out if you have student loans. If you're a student, find out how, because, and one of the reasons I started with finances is, money, we need money to live. I kid you not, we need money to live, we need to eat, we have bills to pay, we have mortgages, we are renting. So, have those conversations, find out what's going on, so that at least you know what to expect, so that your mind is at ease. Because I can come on here and tell you, stand as one, you go as one, but you come as one, but stand as 10,000, and you're thinking about your bills. So I want to, introduce this. We have to be practical, right? So figure out the finances, ask questions, read from official sources, please, right? Which brings me to my other point. Mind your daily media intake. I love social media. Social media, I think, was created for good. But just like anything else that was created for good, there can be some negative elements to it. There can be some evil elements to it. There can be, some other elements to it. And so you have to be mindful. And I had to stop myself, because I was going online every day, like, okay, what's happening? What's happening? And we tend to gravitate, even though I was reading from the official sources, we tend to gravitate, stuff show up on our news feed from our friends, comments that they make. You have some really, like on my news feed, I have some really good friends, Facebook friends, sorry, some of them are good friends, that write really interesting articles, that write, well, posts, sorry, that write really thought-provoking things that make you think. People comment, and I enjoy that type of a debate. But you can get caught up, right? Because also at this time, people could be so unkind. People, and I think it's because people are scared. People don't know what to expect. Um, you know, so there's all this energy that is going on online, and if you've never, this is the other thing, if you've never believed in energy, that energy is real, trust me, this should be your wake up call. The energy around this, and I know I'm going off track. The energy around this pandemic is fear, and it is crazy. I'm like, oh my god, I believe in energy, but this is real. This is like, like, you know, when you believe in something, but then like there's so much evidence hitting you. The energy around this is so real. So mind your media intake, mind your social media intake. If you have to go on there, because you do have to go on to read what's going on, and we do need to keep connected, especially now when many of us are on curfew. Some persons are in isolation. Some persons have self-quarantined. And so we are humans. We are built for connection. We are built to be social. We are built for this. And so we do need that type of interaction. But mind your media intake. Be consciously selective of the people that you are looking at. Let me see this. It's gotten a bit dark. Okay. Okay, that should help. Be mindful. Yes, when I move. When I move. Okay. Be mindful of the people you follow, the people that you read. And it could be a family member, it could be a very good friend, but still be mindful, because you are ingesting all of that energy, and it does not serve you at a time when you're already scared. Like I know that I'm scared. Like I'm getting less scared as the days go by, but I was a nervous wreck. Like I had to tell myself, pull yourself together, Waveney. You have to deliver, because the information that I put out is very positive, right? And it's not like Pollyanna, like, oh, let's sweep this under the rug. But I cannot function at a certain level of fear. I cannot do that, right? And most of us can't do that. So we have to monitor the media intake, right? We are going to see, like, I've seen comments that people make that was so rude, that was so, ridiculous, that was so condescending, that I'm like, really? But this is what fear produces, right? And so I've had to take my own advice. This is the advice. I've taken my own advice, and now I'm sharing with you. So mind your media intake, even if it is a great friend. Only listen to official media sources. Now, and by now you should know, which is the government. The government is the one who is going to give you the updates, who's going to tell you what's going on. I suggest that you read it for yourself. There's a lot of people who don't like to read. I have no idea why. Read for yourself. Listen for, if you don't want to read, they're putting updates on the radio. So listen, read. If you still don't understand, reach out to a trusted source, somebody who you know is going to give you an unbiased opinion. Because especially around this time, like, everything is laced with politics, and we don't have time for that. We just want to know what's going on, how to keep safe, what are the updates, what we are to do, right? So just mind your social media intake. Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, Snap, any of those things. Maybe you have, what's it called on the iPhone? No, but Messenger is different now. Anyway, social media, period. Just mind that. Right now, even on YouTube, there's a lot of now conspiracy theorists who are now saying, yes, this person spoke about it in this time and that person spoke about it in that time. The only person that I really, and even now I've kind of toned it down, that I listen to is this guy named David Icke. And he has some interesting thoughts, but I've been looking at his stuff for quite a while, right? But be mindful of that, okay? Um, so, yes. Thirdly, yes, that was number 2. Thirdly, create a routine and a plan for your day. So this is important, especially for many of us who we're not going to a job, right? We're getting up, our jobs have closed down. Create a routine. Humans are creatures of habit, right? And so without even noticing, you look forward to going to work. I know you say you don't. Some of you hate your job, but trust me, how are you feeling now that you don't have anything to go to? That's right. That's my point exactly. So you want to create a routine so you have something something to look forward to, right? And here's some things. So I know I like to look forward to stuff. That's why I'm always planning that. That's why I'm always doing stuff, right? And I've created a routine for myself. So first, before I go into that, for those of you who are entrepreneurs, or for those of you who have a side hustle like me, who have a side business like me, who had a primary job and had a side business, one of the things I do is, in my mind, I'm like, okay, so now this is what it's like to work solely for me, right? And so that's what I've done in my mind. Okay, now that I have all this time, now, that I don't have my primary job, let me set myself up. Let me operate as though I work only for the people's brand. And that's something that you can do, which is really helpful. And even if you don't own your own side hustle or business, I hate the word side hustle, but I feel like that's the only way you'll get it more. Some of us, sorry. And even if you don't own it, some persons have been thinking about businesses. Here's a perfect opportunity. Here's a perfect opportunity to put all those plans down. Like for me, I've been working on my website since last year. And because I want to have complete autonomy over it, I might be a bit of a control freak. A little bit, not a lot. But I wanna bring my idea to life, right? Maybe down the road I'll have some help, but I've been working on that, and that's why it has been taking so long. And so now I have no excuse, because now I can now set aside some time to work on my website, right? And so there's so many things that you can do. Okay, so create a learning plan. That's the other thing. I purchased some courses last year, and they're the type of courses that I didn't have to do right away. I had lifetime access, which is perfect. And so I plan to, over the next few weeks or months, however long this lasts, to really, tap into those trainings, those learnings. So create a learning plan for yourself, right? And it doesn't have to be elaborate or fancy. Maybe you want to know how to make a cake. I don't know. Maybe you want to know how to do a smoky eye. That is learning. The point is to keep your brain active. Maybe you wanted to learn how to do, to fix up your Instagram. Maybe you have a business hour. Maybe you have a personal page. It doesn't matter. And you scroll through Instagram and you've seen persons with such perfect Instagram pages, and you're like, I want to learn how to do that. Google it. There's this lady, what's her name? Kat Karai. I think she actually gave me some, well, talking about She actually gave me, we speak about these people like, they spoke to us. Anyway, she actually gave me some really helpful tips. So Kat Karoy, um, look at her. And her videos are really short, like 5 minutes, 2 minutes, but you can learn so much. And there's of course YouTube, there's of course Google. So anything that you want to learn, now's the time. You have all the time in the world, right? So do that. In addition to that, I have posted a few online free courses on my shared a few on my Facebook page and Instagram. So if you haven't seen those, just message me, just WhatsApp me. I have a new WhatsApp for my business. It's 663-3356. So that's the People's Brand. That's all things People's Brand. So you can message me there, right? Projects around your home. Those of us who have been putting off and putting off stuff, maybe arranging your cupboards, maybe doing stuff out in the yard, maybe rearranging your bedroom, your closet, organizing where you put your bags. Here's the perfect time, right? So tap into that. You have no excuse. For those of you, I don't have kids, but for those of you who have children, ensure they still need to learn. So creating a schedule for that. And I don't know how it works. I know that some schools are providing online resources. I'm not sure if it's there's a specific time that you have to log on to, right? But if there isn't, set up a structure, because people need structure, and especially children need structure. You can't just let them run wild, and their learning just goes through the door. So create a learning plan, create a structure for their learning, if you do have kids, right? And exercise, find a way to exercise. If you have a great yard space, kudos to you. If you live in an apartment complex like me, then YouTube, or just you might be able to do some stretches, and sit-ups, but make sure that you exercise, right? So create a routine and a plan for your day. And then number 4, right, and I want to end with this point, is mindfulness. And so I started it with, what was the first point? Get your mind right. Get it right, get it fixed. And I wanted to end with mindfulness, because we have time. We don't have an excuse. We have time. I don't even know. I mean, I guess I have to know the days of the week. But yesterday I was like, what day is it? Right? Because everything is like soup. Everything is like, meaning it all just runs into one, right? But we have to be mindful. And maybe, and I've seen people online say it, and maybe, and I want to believe so, it is a time for us to reflect, and a time for us to slow down. So many of us have been just going. I know in hospitality, my primary job, it just never ends. Like work, it's always there. And so it's a time for us to really slow down and reflect. And so in mindfulness, allow yourself to feel. Allow yourself to feel whatever emotions. Like I mentioned earlier, if you don't have a job right now, like me, allow yourself to feel that loss, because we get up every day, there's something to go to, and it's a loss. We're not going to see our co-workers, right? I remember our last day at work, one of the security guards was crying. I'm like, why are you crying? And he's like, it just hit me that I'm not going to see you guys. I'm not going to see HR. I'm not, I didn't want to cry. So I said, okay, I'll see you on Monday. That's my way of dealing with stuff. I'll see you on Monday. When I know I won't see the person for a very long time, I'll see you on Monday. I'll see you soon, right? But he was genuinely crying, because we're not going to see our co-workers. I mean, yes, we have WhatsApp, yes, we have our phones and whatever, but we are meant to be social. And so I know for so many of us, we can't wait until this curfew is lifted. I know we can't wait until, um, and even with the curfew, we still have to keep the social distancing, right? We can't wait until all this is over, right? But allow yourself to feel, because we're human, whatever that is, but do not allow yourself to dwell, right? Don't dwell there. Don't dwell there. Allow yourself to feel, allow yourself to vent. Do not allow yourself to dwell. Otherwise, that's how people become depressed and stuff like that. And mental health is very real. Some people are stronger than others. If you're someone who's really struggling with this, reach out and find someone. I should have done research. I'm sure that there's a hotline somewhere that of someone that you can call a friend, right? But do not allow yourself to dwell. This is why I gave all these points. This is why I said create a structure for your day, right? Because hold on a second, let me see. Okay, it's still going, right? I have my SD card in. This is why I said all those things, because all those things will allow you to function normally. All those things will put the points before, will put you in a mind frame of normalcy, because this is the new normal and we don't know for how long, right? So allow yourself to feel, but don't dwell. Get balance, and that is why I spoke about mind, the media. Be careful of your media intake. In everything that you need to do, there's balance. I found myself last week and early this week eating the snacks that I had that I had bought. I mean, and that's what people do. This thing is real. Like emotional eating is a real thing. And so what I did was I had to stop myself. I was doing the intermittent fasting before all this happened, and so I am still doing it. So I am eating. My first meal is at 12. Well, I haven't ate yet because I got up late. So my first meal would start at 12, and my last meal before 8 o'clock. And so I'm still keeping that structure. So have that balance. Don't eat off all the snacks, please. Right? You have time to prepare your meals in a mindful way. And so what I mean by that, I'm not saying that you prepare your meals willy-nilly, you just slap anything in the pot and give your families anything to eat, or you just eat anything. Well, some of us do when when we live alone, right? But this is a time to really evaluate your diet, to evaluate what you consume, how you consume. This is a way for those of us who love to cook but just really haven't found the time, or we like to try new dishes, but life caught us up, right? We get caught up. Now is the time to be mindful in our meal preparation, right? Any angle, any way you look at it. Now is the time. Now is the time to be creative. Like for me, I don't eat meat, and so my challenge every time I prepare meals is how can I make this different so I don't get bored eating the same thing over and over. And so I have to keep the same energy. So I encourage you, even if you're not a vegetarian, um, you there's so many creative ways that you can prepare meals. There's so many healthy ways that you can prepare meals. And remember, during this time, again, back to the snack eating and the binge eating and the emotional eating and just eating any old crap. Remember, now is a time that we have to really keep our immune systems up. So exercise, yes, but the way in which we eat. Now is a time to really think about it. And then um, lastly is keep connected. Well, kind of lastly. Keep connected. Keep connected. And when I say keep connected, to God, to friends and family, to positive people who are going to fill your life. Nobody who's going to drain you, right? But keep connected to God, keep connected to the source. If you don't believe in God, okay, fine. keep connected to your family. I don't know what to say, right? um, but keep connected to the source or God or whomever you believe in. Meditate, right? I've come on here, I've spoken about meditating. I do meditation, and I find it, I don't even jump out of bed anymore. Once ago I used to sit cross-legged on my floor on my meditation mat, and I would meditate. Now I don't even, I just sit up in my bed, or I just lie there and I meditate, and it works just the same. There is an app called Headspace. Use it, use it, use it. Tap into it. Headspace.com. It's an app. You can find it in the Google Store, Play Store. You can find it in your the Apple Store, and it just doesn't give meditations. It gives other like short things on productivity, on kindness, but it's something that it's a mindfulness app. So meditate, journal. For those of you who don't journal, this is a great time to start to journal out your feelings, to journal out your plans for the future, because we will get over it. I mean, we can't see ahead. Yes, I agree. But now is the time to journal, and I'm gonna pull a shameless sales plug in. I'm shamelessly pulling this plug. Now's the time to get you are what you think, you become what you think journal. And I can get those to you, not just right now, but for those of you who are interested, let me know, right? And I could get these delivered to you. Like I said, when everything has settled down a bit, I could get it to you. All right. So journal, pray. Prayer works. It works. This morning when I got up, I meditated and I was journaling, and I remembered a scripture verse. My grandmother, when I was growing up, on my birthday, my grandmother would give me a card with money in it, but she always had a scripture verse. And I don't know if she had other verses, but to me, she always quoted Proverbs, which I don't know. It's one of my favorite books in the Bible because it speaks about wisdom, right? And the quote was, and I remembered it today: wisdom is the principal thing. No, I'm sorry, that's the wrong quote. Trust in the Lord. That's another one of my favorite quotes as well. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not unto your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct your paths. And so, yeah, as I came out of that scripture dropped into me. So I thank my grandmother. When I'm done, I'm going to give her a call as well. So, yes. And lastly, a question and a journal prompt that you can ask yourself is, what am I learning? What am I learning during this period? Because you're learning something about yourself, right? What are you learning? What is there to learn? What are you learning about other people, right? I go on social media and you see people's true colors come out. Yeah. Because fear does that to you. It shows you the true colors of people. So what are you learning? What are you learning about yourself? What are you learning about your children? What are you learning together? What is it teaching you? What lessons are you being taught? And, these are just some deep questions for self-reflection. And I encourage you to do that during this time. And so we've come to the end of another Wavelength Wednesday. And I certainly hope that you get on the same wavelength, of course. But I certainly hope that the material today has helped you in some way. I was so excited to share this with you because I feel like with everything again going on that somebody out there needs this message, and I really hope that your spirit stays uplifted. It is an uncertain time, yes, but there are things that we can do to stay centered. Remember, this is a time to get our mind right And we need a mind that is settled, one that is rooted in hope, peace, and calm. And I'll end with the quote that I started with: I come as one, but I stand as 10,000. And so I'll see you next week on another Wavelength Wednesday. Bye.